Everybody's been asking me to talk about this unit since she got announced and shown off. I'm talking about in the live streams, people are asking me to do it, people on my Discord, people on Twitter, everybody was like, OP, we want you to talk about Priscilla. And not the fire Priscilla that you might think, but the new Priscilla, Priscilla IS, I think is what they're calling it, or the Priscilla that can also use a phantom bullet with a bow. Don't ask me how that works, but it works. I'm assuming the reason why so many people want me to talk about it, because one, I mean, a lot of people think she looks like 2B because the blindfold and the white hair, which I would think, yeah, maybe her design is somewhat inspired by 2B in that regard. And for you guys that do not know, of course, one of my favorite games of all time is the Nier series. I'm talking about Nier Gestalt, Nier Automata, Nier Replicant, Nier Reincarnation, all that. I love them all. I really do. So I guess a lot of people thought I would be pretty hyped about this character. But I mean, it's not like 2B or actual Nier or Emil Kaine or something like that's coming to the game. It's just a character that looks similar to one of them. But still, let's get on to it. So this new character, Priscilla, that we already know of, it's the 7th installment in the Phantom Sniper saga, if I'm not mistaken. She is, of course, the 3rd unit to be able to use a phantom bullet, and she's actually one of the first units that isn't the same element as her artwork. And what I mean by this is that, for example, if you look at Vox, right, you see how Vox has the blue hair, the blue armor, like, you know, he has a lot of blue going on, and he also has the water in the background of the ice or whatever. That's to, of course, help represent that he is a water unit, right? But Priscilla, if you actually look at her, she has a lot of this dark and eerie aura going around her. And you would assume that she'd be a dark unit, but she's not. She's a water unit, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I'm actually glad they started doing that. So of course she is a water human still. Her slots are going to be 5-star physical, 5-star support, and a 4-star physical. Her skill is 1000% water damage physical. For 8 seconds you increase your own attack by 20%. Her art is 15,000% water damage physical, and then you decrease the enemy's evasion and accuracy by 30%. And the true art is 42,000% water damage physical. For 15 seconds you increase all allies arcage by 5 and physical damage by 50%. And then of course her phantom bullet, which this one can only be used once per quest. The other ones actually have been able to use a little bit more frequently. I think used like 3 or 2 times, but hers can only be used once, and it's a massive 75,000% water damage physical during phantom bullet. Increase own crit rate by 100%, and then for 90 seconds you decrease the enemy's water resistance by 60%. And I don't actually think that we know of her passives yet. Let me actually see if I can find a different. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sensei. And then her abilities are increased physical evasion by 5%, increased damage against enemies and break by 20%, and when HP is above 80%, you increase your own attack and accuracy by 50%. So looking at this unit, when I'm looking at her true weapon yet, right, it's clear to me what she wants to be. I don't actually know if they stated what archgen type she is. Yeah, they haven't. I don't know if she's type B, type EX, type E. I'm not for sure. I'm assuming she's going to be type B, unfortunately. But first glance, I'm looking at this unit, right? And I'm looking at everything, and I think personally to me, the thing that really makes this unit stand out is her phantom bullet. Her true art is pretty strong, don't get me wrong. The main appeal to her is definitely her phantom bullet, which it should be because of course she is one of the phantom snipers and she's one of the few that can actually use the phantom bullet mechanic. And I think in most situations, people are going to be looking at this unit as more so as a nuker than an archgener, because I think that she's going to be able to hit insanely hard. She has a 5-star physical, meaning that she gets an extra 500 attack. She has a 5-star support, which I think is an extra 250, 125, something like that. She has around 3k base attack, which is pretty strong, and then also she's going to be able to increase her own attack by 50% and her own accuracy by 50%. The only thing that you really need to do with her is maybe buff up her damage, and then you could see some insane damage numbers from her phantom bullet, which her phantom bullet's extremely easy to get. If you guys don't know how this mechanic works, it's pretty much like a true art. Whenever you get your true art, you can swipe up and you'll see the phantom bullet icon pop up, and if you click it, then you use the phantom bullet instead of your true art. So there's a lot of stuff going for her, but real quick, before I even get more detailed into this and more of my thoughts out there, let's talk about her true weapon. So her true weapon, which is Astral Shaft, 5-star physical, 60-second cooldown, 10,000% water damage physical. For 12 seconds, you decrease the enemy's physical resistance by 20%. And if the user is water, you decrease the enemy's physical resistance by 35% instead. Her passives are when equipped by Priscilla, you increase your own arc gauge by 3 per second, and you increase your attack by 5%. Me personally, I would have liked a little bit more damage on this myself. Like in the passive, maybe increase her own damage by 30% or something on top of the arc gauge that she's going to be getting. But they probably didn't want to do that because, yeah, she is, with her multipliers and everything, and her true weapon also lowering the enemy's increased physical resistance, this is going to do a lot of damage on its own. So yeah, I think she's like one of the first characters in the game that kind of is like this mix between a nuker and kind of like a support unit, kind of like a sub-attacker. She's like the first nuking sub-attacker to an extent, right? She's really good against any enemy that has high evasion because she has so much accuracy buffs in her kit. Let me say that. She is also able to hit extremely hard, and her being a water unit means that she's going to be able to hit extremely hard against pretty much any fight in the game, because you could run a mono water nuke setup, or not even a mono water nuke setup. Let's say, for example, you run her, you run Forte because she is a human, you run like maybe Emilia at that point, and with a freeze resist down equipped, so you can even have more water resist down. And then for the last unit, you could literally run like a Shady, a Sonji, a Vox, like pretty much anything you want to, and you're going to see some pretty high damage output from her. I think that most of the time, though, if you're going to be nuking with her, because she is already out on JP, at least my thoughts would be that you really want to build around her Phantom Bullet more so than her True Art, because her Phantom Bullet is what you're really going to want, because you have that massive 60% water resist down and the crit rate buff as well, which, in my opinion, you don't even really need to buff up crit if you don't want to on your team, because I feel like she would be able to one-shot most bosses in the game. As long as you buff her up enough, she should be able to do it kind of like a Saitama to an extent. So yeah, I think she's very unique. At first glance, whenever I actually saw her, I thought that she was kind of like whatever, in the sense that her kit itself is kind of like, to me at least, it's good, but I wouldn't say it's like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Either way you put it, this show is going to do a lot of damage, and I can't wait to see the videos that come out that actually showcase this damage, because I think she released yesterday on JP, or the day before yesterday. She may have released on Halloween or November 1st, I couldn't remember. She's going to be a crazy unit, We're not even considering other units too, like Volti for an example. Volti is another unit that is just absolutely insane. I made a video on him, by the way, if you want to go check that out. Also, not only just Volti, like, dude, there's so many good units nowadays on JP that can help water units. Like, you have a lot of options to really make her do a lot of damage. So yeah, thank you all for coming out. I think that Priscilla IS is going to be pretty insane when she comes. She'll probably be coming to global in the next like 6 to 8 months possibly. We might get her sooner, but I kind of hope they take it a little bit slow. I'm not gonna cap, because the next unit that we actually get on global from the Phantom Sniper saga is actually Fire Priscilla. So, you know, they're gonna be taking a little bit slow until, you know, we get there, but hey, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, tell me down below what you guys think about Priscilla. If you're hyped for her, if you're, you know, indifferent about her, if you kind of just think like, she's whatever, let me know. Me personally, I'm actually saving most of my currency at the moment for Fire Priscilla, because Fire Priscilla is a unit that I really want, especially since I pulled Hal. I'm hoping that I wind up getting her, so if I get her, hey, only thing I'm saying is, lightning may not strike twice, so if I get one of them, I may not get the other. But that's gonna be it for this one, man. Thank you all again for coming out. Love you guys. Support on the channel's been crazy recently. Can't thank you guys enough. If you haven't seen the most recent videos, of course, popping up on your screen right now. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.